Yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 7th and 8th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline Comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kelber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday night as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silverline Silver Sunday. This Sunday on June the 2nd. Can y'all believe it's already June? I know that I can't. I am your host. I am Roland Man. I am joined by our usual cast. Right here, right next to me is Mr. Mike W. Belcher, that man in the mask guy.
Howdy.
How you doing today, Mike?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Excellent. Right next to Mike is Mr. Tom Mason, who he's just getting started.
That's right. Considering today's topic is endings, I'm not ending.
You're not close to ending, right?
No, not well, unless my doctor gives me otherwise.
You're not writing your final chapter, is what you're saying.
As far as I know, unless you've heard something. What have you heard?
We'll wait. We'll talk about that off screen.
Right.
I've heard some.
Yeah. Also, my longtime collaborator, Mr. Thomas Formonti, con artist with a specific set of skills.
No, not today.
Say hi, Tommy. Oh,
Howdy do.
Lost his title there. I'm kicking from the studio. I don't want to do that. I just want to edit his name. Lord Clinton. And also joining us special tonight, coming all the way from the UK, where it is
early.
2 o'clock in the morning?
1 o'clock in the morning.
1 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Peter Clinton, Lord Clinton to all of us on this side of the pond. Say hi, Pete.
Oh, hi.
What was that Spanish?
Yeah, I'm trying not to wake the baby.
Oh, that's
she's
right. So
she's very gonna wake up in a minute.
We need to whisper tonight, right?
Oh, Roberta's here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. And also last but not least, joining, and I'll move that logo here in just a second, Roberta.
Okay.
Miss Roberta Conroy, Colors Supreme. Say hi, Roberta.
Hello, everyone.
So, so tonight, we're talking about good endings, and we're going to talk about stories tonight. But before, of course, we get into talking about any kind of stories, you need to remember that we are. Let me see if I can do this right here. We are ending this campaign within about 40. Where's my timer here? 43 minutes to go. All right, so this is it, guys. You got to jump over if you want this cover. And this is shiny. I will tell you guys this. I was offered money for this yesterday and today.
You should have sold it. I can get you another one.
So, well, Tommy, you forgot. You did. That's not us on the inside.
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's some stuff on the inside.
So, yeah, you guys pop over there. Let me refresh this. Make sure that's up to date.
We're almost at the third stretch goal.
Yep.
It's good
I
stuff.
hope we make that.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got 17:11, and we got 37 minutes to go here. That means 17:11. That means we've got. Oh, we almost at the. Oops, I can't select that, can we? So we've got the first stretch goal. This is for all backers of all digital and physical rewards. And then we've got the $1,500 stretch goal, which is everybody gets everybody for the physical rewards get a bookmark. And we're only I can't do math, but that looks like about $40
$40
away, $40 away from another digital reward that or another reward for all backers, including the digital backers. That's a PDF. It's going to have the plot, the script. We talked before about how much Roland likes working Marvel method. So it's going to have the plot there. It's going to have the script, which is really the way my consideration is. It's kind of boring because it's just the words, right?
It's not boring. It's interesting.
And of course, any kind of sketches. Pete's got layouts and all kind of stuff like that. Anything we can get our hands on, we are going to include that for you in this PDF. And then if we can make it to 2,000 tonight, guys, and that's doable, right? We're in striking distance. That's only I can't do math, but $300, less than $300. Thank you very much from my math people. And this one is for those who backed physical rewards. Here is that everyone is going to get the size of a about the roughly the size of a backing board, and the print of where's it at? The print of this cover right here. Oh, there it is, right there. That's the print. Right there's the print, and
that
then
would
there's
be great.
There's the bookmarks. So, so yeah, you guys get up here, and Tommy has just whoops, not yet. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got 42 backers.
Pull it up on the side so I can see what it looks like on the screen.
Okay. I'm seeing your fan, it looks like.
Yeah, that's not what it's supposed to be.
What's
Just
that?
let it go for now. I'll figure something out.
Why are we looking at a fan? Oh God!
No, not that. There you go.
So, yeah, guys, one of the things I thought about.
Crotch. That's not good.
Oh, here, let me see if I can. Here, go. Hold on, Tommy. There we go.
Awful.
How's that?
What are the...
Tommy wears shorts. I'm not wearing nothing.
So,
this is not working. Okay, what do you see now?
I see paper.
Can you see what's on it?
It's too small for me to see. You want me to put it on there solo?
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, there. All right.
I see it.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
But
very
it's
nice.
right now. Well, at least you can see it. That's better than nothing.
What's that?
And so Tommy, remind me, what are we going to do with this?
I did. Well, let's see if it turns out to be anything first.
All right, so this looks like, if I'm guessing this, oh, you can't see my mouse. I got my mouse pointing to it like you can see it.
I thought we can see. Well, we can give it away anyway. So if for tonight, if somebody pledges and they can tell you what movie this is from, with Miss Fury as the main character, but what the movie that this is from, and of course, I'm a big zombie fan, so that's a hint. Then, place your what do you call it? Your
pledge.
Your pledge, and put in the notes what movie this is from, and the first person that guesses the movie, then you get this for free.
Is it Naked Gun?
Shut up! Don't be telling people.
Is it Aeroplane?
The English Patient. Gandhi.
We'll see if it actually looks right by the time I'm done. We'll see.
Is it Alien?
Die Hard 4.
Ernest Goes to Jail.
Is that RoboCop?
Tommy's like, whose idea was this?
Yeah, this is my idea, but this is not.
Night at the Museum 3.
Is that Batman?
So it's not Batman. You know who Daddy is.
Is that Jumanji?
Green Hornet.
Maybe I can pencil it enough, and then I'll still ink it afterwards. But it'll we'll get it figured out.
Okay. All right. So as
and you don't have to put it on me the whole time. You can just whatever you want to do.
Well,
but,
let's see. Hold on.
I'm gonna keep working on it while we talk.
Let's see if we can do. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. We can do. Whoa, that's not what I want to do either. Hold on. Let me see. I think we can do this. How's that, guys? What do y'all think?
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah.
I'll move the.
Okay, so as long as I don't move, this works.
Is
and
it
you can
Judge
still
Dredd?
see me up here too. So there I am, and then there I am. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I still feel
All
like turning my head sideways.
It's actually one of my favorite parts of conventions is when you go down Artist Alley and you can see all the artists.
Yeah.
Actually penciling with an actual pencil.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So there will be a big. Here's another hint. There will be a big word balloon here that says "Send more paramedics." Is what's going to say right here.
Oh, it's how the Grinch
Starship
Stole Christmas.
Troopers.
Y'all are not supposed to guess. Okay, Pops says, "Hey, Pops." Pops says, "Hey, yo, get some." Pops gives the link to the campaign. Of course, you know that all you guys know that we are part of the Madness Comic Network. So, whole bunch of shows on the network, and Pops is the man who works diligently behind the scenes, pushing buttons and turning knobs and talking to all kinds of people. Put them across the bottom, Roland.
Yeah, he had it rolling across like a ticker tape.
Oh no, I think he was talking about us. I don't know how to do that.
Is it Star Wars, Tommy?
Because
yeah,
we'll just go back to that. This is not a share, Pops. He's actually got a second phone line coming in, so it's a little bit different. All right, so tonight we are talking about and chat. We need you guys to out here. We are talking about endings. What makes a good? Oh, there you go. Pop. Hey, Pops jumped in. Thank you, Pops. Well, no, hold on.
Almost. It almost worked. I didn't know you had that share screen featured.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't want to keep the campaign up. So we want Tommy. So that's that one there.
Oh, you forgot my other thing that I've offered for the campaign too.
Yeah,
Tarzan.
So let me go look. I'm gonna look at the campaign here. So last time I looked at the campaign, nobody had taken up any of the commissions from either Pete or Tommy.
No.
And nope, still no, none of you. I don't get it. You guys love original art, and none of you have selected a commission from either Pete or Tommy. And Tommy and I were talking briefly yesterday, I guess. And Tommy said, "Hey, man, do this. Let's sweeten the deal a little bit for excuse me, for a Tommy commission." And he said, let's do this for those who get the Flormonti commission, same price, but he's going to add color. They're all in black and white. Now, Tommy, what we didn't clear up, is that a digital color, or are you going to color on the page?
No, so you'll still get the black and white print, and then I'll digitally color and print it and get you a printout of it.
Okay, cool.
So you'll get my regular, what I do at conventions, which I don't color at conventions because it's just too much a pain in the butt.
Right.
But I'll scan it before I, I'll scan it after I ink it, and then I'll color it, and then print you out a copy. So for the same $35.
Excellent. Very good.
Sweet deal.
Yes, very sweet deal. And of course, Pete still got both of them, 4 commissions, guys. So y'all jump over there and put these guys to work. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we're not busy.
Yeah, and there's still a whole bunch of original art as well. So I'm gonna keep monitoring that. We've got 30 minutes left to go for that. 28 minutes, sorry. So our topic tonight is good endings, right? And so one of the things, and Tom I know knows this, is one of the things that you see when you see pitches. A lot of times you see somebody comes to you and they've got a great idea for a concept, or there's a character, or there's maybe an opening scene, and it's a fantastic idea, right? But as we all know, part of what we have to do in storytelling like this is we've got to tell them a complete story, right? We've got to give them a beginning, a middle, and an end. And your story has to have a conclusion. So what are some of the things, and chat, you guys chime in too, what do you think makes a good ending? When you have finished a story and you go, that was good. What makes a good ending?
Everybody's dead.
They all die. Big explosion.
Even the people that I love.
No doubt there will not be a second one. This is it. It's over. It's done.
Everybody's
like
dead.
Hamlet. It's all. Yeah, he's dead at the end.
Yeah, you don't see Hamlet 2.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes. We're not going to bleed this all the money we can get. It's over.
That second one.
That's right. Yeah, no, Romeo and Juliet too, because they're dead.
That's right.
Better they all die at the end. The story's over then.
Lots of blood and gore.
Well, I think it just has to be satisfying, so that the problem that you set up was solved. Essentially,
exactly.
One of the things about Batman and why he keeps going for 1,000 issues is he never actually solved his parents' murder until what? Batman 48 or Batman 70 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
something like that. Yeah.
So, but that's a continuing character, and continuing characters don't really have like a movie ending. They have a TV ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's we've talked a little bit about that before. One of the problems with like ongoing television series and an ongoing character like Batman is that you can't really come to a definitive conclusion, because what are you going to do the next issue?
Right. So it's only when your thing is ending, when your book is canceled, or you stop publishing it, or your TV show goes off the air, or whatever, that you get you hope you get an ending.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, I mean, I know some of us grew up in an era where TV shows or comic books would just stop.
Yeah.
And
that's how it ended. It just was, man.
Right. There'd be like a regular episode with no real ending, and that would be the end of the season because the show got canceled, or the DC or Marvel would just cancel a title in the middle of the story, and you'd hope maybe 5 years later that Roy Thomas or Chris Claremont would pick it up again and solve it. And so there was no so we live in an era now where people tend to get advance notice about stuff, and they work towards the season finale of a TV show becomes a big thing.
Yeah.
And most of the time when you see this on social media a lot, when Marvel or DC cancels a book, they sort of say, well, we're going to let the writers and the artists just sort of wrap it up. We gave them enough time. So, by the time issue 14 comes around, we've solved a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see that sort of crazy, cancellation coming out of nowhere like you used to. It still happens.
Yeah. Pop says, do you have number 1 as an add-on? The answer to that, Pops, is yes. It's about the 3rd or 4th selection on the crowdfunder. You'll see it, and it just says catch-up. It's called catch-up tier, so you can get that. He then says, Pop says, if all the loose ends are tied up and the story and characters have run their course, mass extinction. Go ahead.
Because even when the meteor killed all the dinosaurs, they just turned into birds and alligators.
Yeah, it never ended, right?
they didn't really die. They just became turkeys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mike, what about you? When you're putting together the Man in the Mask stories, right? How do you conclude the story so that your readers feel it's a satisfactory ending?
Well, basically, it's like, we're talking about cancellation endings, but there's also just the end of the story, the particular story you're writing. And, that's the one thing you have to kind of, build those blocks up. And then as you're getting toward that final act, you got to figure out, am I trying to, put a period on everything that I've kind of built up to? Or am I, again, doing a very loose, like a comma, if you use that kind of, language, but something that allows the reader to feel satisfied with the story that you're telling within the pages of that one book.
Yeah.
That you're trying to end the story by, you've gone from the point A and B, and then you're trying to finish up there at the end. And like I said, just don't be vague. You want to make sure you feel like you've given a good meal. You may not have given the final meal, but you at least gave a good meal that they're satisfied that, maybe some of the most pertinent questions and most of the conflicts that you introduced are satisfied by the ending. That's kind of how I approach it. I mean, I don't look at like the final answer, but it at least needs to be for that particular instance. Is that too confusing?
No. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, because that particular story, if you're doing a self-contained story, you and it's not continuing to the next issue, it has to have the kind of that 3-act structure of going someplace. Because if it doesn't go anywhere, well, it's going to show in the first pages of the book. If it doesn't go anywhere, you got to make sure that you tighten it up as you go toward the ending of it. That you feel like, am I satisfied with the ending? Because as a reader yourself, you know what you're looking for. So that's kind of how I approach stories. It's just, here's the beginning, but then the end has to be somewhere where it's logical.
Yeah.
It doesn't go off into, you don't want to start off, you're starting off in the street and you end up at the moon at the end of it. Like, well, how do you get to the moon? Those are kind of, unless you can really throw some interest in there, it's not a very plausible ending. So you have to kind of build yourself very logically.
Yeah. Pete, any thoughts?
Is it Jurassic Park?
No.
I think
it's Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
Yeah. I think
Jurassic Park 2, The Lost Boogaloo.
In Inspector Comics, it's just you got to defeat, like Tom said, you got the villain of the TV series, you got your villain of the story arc. You just got to end that in a way that is satisfactory and it covers it, but I guess leaves it open for the return of the bad guy, because comics keep going, so he has to come back. He has to come back at some point to get their vengeance and start a new storyline.
Because that's the thing that I think of, because I was watching the Reacher show, the new one, and the first season, that's a really important story that he solved it. He defeated the villains, and then because of the structure of the show, he moves on to another town where there's an equally bad problem in the second season. But what the first season establishes is, I know he's going to solve the problem, and so how is he going to do it becomes the important part.
Yeah.
And then, is this a character that I want to see again for another season? And it turns out that's exactly what I want. And so I think that's the trick, is you want to deliver a satisfying story that sort of ends, but then you want to have another similar type of adventure with that same character.
I think
Hellboy's
quite a good
he's
example.
fighting in the new season.
I've not seen the second season yet.
Oh, okay. Well, he dies. Never mind.
The planet's hit by a meteor. It's because it's sort of like that first run of the first 22 Marvel films, where it seems like the world is going to end at the end of every movie.
Yeah,
and it's just a different plot to destroy the world. But what you really follow is those characters, because you eventually you stop caring about who's going to destroy the planet. You really just care about, you know, those people.
Right. Yeah. Roberta, what about you? You got any thoughts on?
Yeah, I think a good ending for me is that you have an opportunity for growth where it can go somewhere else. Like you solve something, but then there's either a new presented issue or there's something more interesting developing in the character that you feel like he's or she's going to need to do something very important. So that's what I like to have in the story is a shift.
So you like the idea, if what I'm hearing you right, you like the idea that the character resolved something, but then the seed for the next thing is already planted.
Yeah, that's what I like is when there's a little tidbit of something that you start recognizing as kind of needing to overshadow the importance of the thing that you're resolving in your issue.
Yeah. You know, one of the things we probably ought to schedule to talk about on here sometime is kind of what do you guys think makes a good story. But you know, one of the problems I often have if I'm reading a story or if I'm reading a comic book, and the problem I see is that I get 10 pages into it and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what are we doing and why are we doing it, right? Part of the problem I have is that your protagonist, right, whoever that's going to be, has to have a goal of some kind, right? So they have to be working to achieve something, you know, whether that's to defeat the bad guy or you know, accomplish a task or a goal or you know whatever. They've got to achieve something, right? So then, of course, one of you guys mentioned the 3-act structure. That second act is them trying to accomplish that, and then that's where their conflict comes in. And then I think for it to be satisfactory, obviously we want the protagonist to achieve their goal, right? We're all cheering for them. Yes, go achieve your goal, right? So the satisfactory ending is when they achieve that goal. But I think sometimes if I read a story and the ending feels unsatisfying, I think if I look back on it, it's because I think a goal is not clearly defined. And you read through the story and you're like, well, what was the point of that story? And you say, well, that was a fun action scene. Okay, yeah, it could have been a fun action scene, and there could have been some, you know, some fun bits and tidbits of dialogue and things like that. But that doesn't make a story. Those make interesting scenes and interesting lines, right? But that's not a story. I want to see the character accomplish something, whatever he set out to do. Chat? What do you guys think? Y'all think that's the way to go? Do you want to see? Because Roberta talked about the carrot, or maybe a little bit of a teaser. Y'all want to see carrots and teasers for the next thing, or you want it to end? You guys.
Well, if you're selling comic books, you want them to come back next month. So yeah, you need to set up.
Yeah,
something.
Because it's sort of two different things. Because serialized comics, like, you know, Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or whatever, they're like television.
Yeah,
you got to come back every month or every issue, and so you've got to. One of the things that Marvel was really good at was planting those seeds along the way that would pay off in the next issue and the issue after that.
Yeah. Even if it was just a small thing, right?
Right. Yeah. And but you could just tell, because it would make you, in addition to the story, there'd be that page or those couple of panels where you're like, I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
And I wonder where that's going. And so then it doesn't necessarily it's not a cliffhanger in the sense that it makes you rush out to grab that issue.
Right.
But it's planted that seed that there's more to the comic than just the plot that you're currently involved in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you need to do for serialized comics. What Roberta says, you got to plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Does
And I don't
every
know, I think
the end of every
collectors-
issue have to be a cliffhanger?
No.
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 In fact, I think quite the opposite. At the end of your story, right? The end of your story, you've got to resolve something, right? And this is why we talk about, at the ending, right? You have to resolve something so that your reader feels completion. Even if you leave them the tidbits. David A. Gutierrez, thank you for stopping by. David says Daredevil Born Again was one of those rare endings that served as both the series finale and an ending, but leaving the door open for more.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
It was a great story.
So you want to want more when you're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about, entirety and every story being the same, but a lot of things are getting shorter and shorter, and I'm feeling dissatisfied with the time investment. I feel like I think I'm not done. The story's done, but I'm not done. So I would like to have that hope that there's something else.
And I'm not gonna call the name, but I backed a graphic novel. They called it a graphic novel. This goes back about 4 years ago, and I was excited about it. The artwork looked good. The story concept sounded exciting, and so I got it in. It was one of those that shipped on time. I got it in. I read through, and I got to the ending, and I said, "It's not over." It's like, but it was like a 200-page graphic novel, right? It wasn't just like a 20-page story, 22-page story. It was a full-on big graphic novel, but nothing was resolved. And I'm like, I read 200 pages, and you're gonna give me a cliffhanger at the end? It's like, no, that's not. No, I want to come to a satisfactory conclusion. You can absolutely leave me those ships. I love those. I love you tease me with something's going to happen in the future, but I need you to complete that story that you've hooked me into.
Yeah, because even if you look at franchise novels that come out, like the Reacher novels, or any of those serialized novels, the James Patterson's novels, they have an ending. The case ends, but then there's another Alex Cross case in the next novel. And so it's because some of these things, like the 200-page graphic novel you're talking about, it could be another 2 years before the next one comes out, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be a different person by the time the 3 years are done.
And part of I think what we do in entertainment is that some of what we do is we build up excitement, right? And then you want to deliver. Well, if you deliver and then it's, like as you said, 2 or 3 years before the next thing, some of that excitement's died on. It's moved on to the next thing. So you got to be able to kind of deliver it when you're promising it,
Yeah, and if I'm a young person, so if I'm 14, 15, 16 years old, and 3 years, it takes 3 years to come out. Well, I'm 19 by then.
Right.
And all of my tastes have changed. The stuff that I liked when I was 15 is not the stuff I liked when I was 19.
No.
No.
If you're like Tommy, you want more boobs, more bloods, and more blade.
What?
I
don't know what you're talking about.
The weird thing is if you look back at that 70s and 80s comics by guys like Doug Mensch or Claremont or Don McGregor or whatever, we often joke that there's so many words, so many balloons, so much stuff going on. But there was a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
They gave you, I mean, they're easy to poke fun at now, but when you're a kid and you read that stuff, they pack a lot into one, 19-page comic book.
That's right. Yeah.
And now
you got your quarter's worth.
Yeah. And now what you get for a lot of comics is you basically get the opening scene of NCIS where they find a body and then they cut to the office where somebody says, "We got a new case. We found a body." And then that's the end of the issue.
I know.
And
it's like, what?
No, I haven't even had a chance to get used to the characters. I don't even understand the concept of the comic. I don't really understand the plot. And I already have to get the second issue.
Yeah, yeah. You
Deep breaths.
haven't effectively hooked me,
Right.
in that
That's the
scenario.
And I don't care. I don't care if there's a mystery that I haven't figured out. I don't care that there's that if they've twisted up a bunch of stuff in an interesting way and I don't really know what's going on. But if they've hooked me, if they can make it interesting, I'll follow the 40 plot threads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a big. They gotta get you there first.
Yeah.
Pop
Don't just
says
keep teasing me.
More, right? We're talking about endings, and then he said, "At my age, I'm divided. Some stuff I want to see the end of before I die. Other stuff I want to far outlive me, if that makes sense."
It does.
Hey, Agent Koepp, what is up, Agent Koepp? Thank you for stopping by. He says, "All right, I'm here. Thanks for waiting. We can now get started."
All right. I call the meeting to order now that Agent Koepp is here.
That's right. Yeah. So, anybody else? Any other thoughts on that? What? Let me ask this question then. What do you think? And again, no specific names or books or titles or anything like that. But what are some of the things that you think makes for an unsatisfactory ending? Something you read and you say, "Yeah, I'm not buying the next one."
Bad attempts at a shock ending. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that it's the M. Night Shyamalan idea that I'm going to introduce something at the very end to entice you to get the other one, but it just absolutely falls flat, and it does the exact opposite. I never want to pick up the book I have again, let alone the next issue.
Yeah,
because that's one thing about when you want to rely on that shock ending that goes, 180 from where the direction you were going, and you're supposed to their mind will be blown, but it's like, no, you didn't even get close to entertaining me. That is, where did that come from?
That does not make you feel good.
Exactly. You just feel robbed. Your feeling is they attempted so much to want to surprise you, but the surprise was so outside of what they established. And it just no, you had a cool idea. It worked. And then you give me that page 17 where it just, nah, I hate that.
Don't blow up my world. That's
exactly.
Oh no!
Destroy what you built.
Because
don't
invite me in and then disrespect me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yeah, that's
don't
what it
blow
is.
up my world. So, Agent, we're going to need you to elaborate on this just a little bit. You said, not going to lie, the Malibu Comics ending kind of sucks. So now, do you mean the end of the company? Do you mean the issues that you read from there? I need just a little bit more information on exactly.
There's a lot of comics they put out, so
yeah,
that's right.
Clarify.
Yeah, so that's
Agent Koepp is like 14 years old, so how could he really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's the end of the company. End of the company.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, yeah, we all thought that.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
No, yeah, we all thought that. Yeah.
Very unsatisfying ending. You had a lot of good characters. You had a couple of good storylines going on, and then all of a sudden we're not there anymore.
We definitely had interesting characters.
Yes, that's right. All your favorite people left. There's a whole new cast next season.
That's right. Oh, really? All right, we're 5 minutes to go. 43 backers. So someone back. Thank you very much. You've got 1733. Whoever that was. Thank you. Madness or Pop says, I thought that Agent Koepp was Tadpole, aka Vic Du. I don't know. Vic has his own. I haven't seen Vic in a while, but I don't know that he would be trying to be in disguise.
Also, can I just point out that Vic Du is a great private eye name?
Oh, I know, right?
Like a 1950s swinging hipster private eye.
Yeah. Yeah, David Ace Gutierrez says you're welcome. Well, thank you. Yeah, so I'm gonna toss myself on the chopping block, Mike, because it was kind of made you kind of thought about it based on what you said. So, Agent Koepp says, "No, I'm not Tadpole. I'm a mystery." So in the most recent Cat and Mouse #1, the story ends on a cliffhanger. Right now, this one ends on the issue ends on a cliffhanger, I should say, because the story doesn't end until issue 4. Right, but the first issue ended on a cliffhanger. Now that cliffhanger, I don't have one handy next to me. That cliffhanger, for those who might not have read it, Cat had broken into the home of Widowmaker where Bobby was being kept, got tossed out the front door in a fight, and then the ending is just a straight-on shot of her going bang like she shot him. Right, so. That's not necessarily. I guess that's not the end of the story. That's the end of the.
It was scary though.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, so part of the challenge of writing, I think, something like Batman is that I don't know that we ever really fear that Batman's going to die. Do we?
No.
No, he's just going to continue to make Gotham City the worst place to live.
There's no fixing that place.
I told my wife at the time what you said the other day. She goes, he's not wrong. He's been there forever.
I will die on this hill.
Yeah. So
you read Batman because he's solving a mystery, isn't he? He should be solving something. That's what you want to get to the bottom of.
Yeah.
What mystery is he solving, and who's the real bad guy behind it, and whatnot. You're not worried about. You're not reading it because you think he's going to die. His life's in danger. His life's always in danger. He's never going to die.
Right.
Robin might die. Robin's probably going to die.
Robin's
expendable, right?
Yeah. Robin actually might even die with an 800 number, right?
Well, that's why that's why the best Batman is Batman the animated series.
Oh, absolutely,
because it looked cool, and he was basically solving mysteries against the Gotham background.
Yeah.
And when they put him, and you knew he wasn't going to die, but they put him in in some sort of giant puzzle like trap, and the trick was, how is he going to get out of it?
Yeah. This is one of those occasions where Tom and I are 100% lockstep. The Lego Batman, best Batman movie ever.
Best Batman ever.
Yeah. Agent Koepp says, I'm not afraid he'll die, but I'm afraid of him breaking his back again. Okay. And that's
beaten up and broken. And
well, there
he's always beat up.
He has good health care though.
He can afford it.
Yeah.
The best money can buy.
He has money. He has Wayne Industries.
Buy a new back.
Yeah, he's got the billionaire healthcare plan.
So Pops makes this observation. He says, but we also have no fear his rogue gallery will die either, and they knock him out all the time, but never run a blade across his neck, which is kind of weak. Tom, what do you think about that? We never lose his rogue gallery.
Well, because it's funny, they also never invent any new guys.
Right.
Because the serialized nature of comics is that you want to. I mean, it basically steals from the pulp magazines where they would always bring the same guys back.
No, the hero doesn't.
Well, if you have a good villain, you want to see him again.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's really hard to come up with better villains than Catwoman and the Joker, and
it really is.
Joker is so amazing.
Well, I actually kind of have a theory about that.
And the Riddler was pretty amazing.
Sorry, I'm refreshing here as we get our ending here. I actually kind of have a theory. 5 seconds ago. All right, we ended 43 backers, 1,733. Thank you all of the backers that helped us get here. Thank you very much.
And look at that synchronicity. 173 is in both the percentage over and the amount.
It is, isn't it? How do I get Tommy back up here? Hold on a second. There we go. So thank you all for backing. We will get an update. We'll update you, of course, if you ever have any questions.
I wonder if that person that backed during the show guessed the drawing.
Let me see if I can access that.
This is one movie, 3 different scenes thrown into one.
Oh, let's see here. I'm gotta remember how to back that or how to.
Oh, with Miss Fury, not
Furry.
Not Miss Furry.
Fury. No, she's not furry. That's demon.
That's a different Kickstarter.
Is it? Is it Showgirls?
It's close to it.
Looks like she's dancing on the pole.
Is it Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Thank you, David.
Oh, Avatar. Yes.
Okay, so I don't see any.
Google
comment
search,
here.
send more paramedics, and see what that comes up.
Is it Platoon?
Yes.
So here, did you read this? David A. Scooterez asked, Roland and Tom, you've ended Total Universe's lines of comics. What did you want to accomplish with those endings? Well, so bless you. I can tell you about the Protectors because well, I mean we were part of it. Tom probably remembers this too. Is one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to have a definitive resolution, right? We knew it was being canceled. It wasn't just, that we're going to be canceled and then come back next year. This was a cancellation, and we knew that. So, fortunately, we're at Malibu, and so when this came, when we got the information and talking to RA, he said, "Well, I think he asked for one additional issue or something like that." Because he said, "Here's what I would like to do. Can you give me one more issue?" And of course, I went back to the bosses and said, "Hey, here's what we want to do. Can you guys? What do you think?" And of course, Malibu was always very, unless it's going to be something stupid. It's like Mike's like, "How'd I get up there?" And then we'll do it. And so we wanted to have a definitive ending. But I will say this, one of the things I said to RA, I said, RA, here's the deal. I'm the eternal optimist, right? I said, I need you, and you don't have to tell me, I need you to have a back door. I need you to have a way so that if 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, whatever, we can convince Malibu to relaunch the Protectors, or maybe even have them, come in as sort of the Squadron Supreme of that world. I need you to have a way that it can be explained, because you're blowing up the planet, right?
Right.
And he goes, I'll get something worked out. And,
give me that Roy Thomas nugget.
That's right. Yeah. And so when he wrote it, I asked him, I said, all right, do you have the back door? He said, yeah. Do you want me to tell you? I said, I don't need to know it. And you just keep it secret. I said, but if we ever need it, I just need to know that you've got it. And so I don't even know what it is to this date. But RA assures me that he had a way to bring those characters back. Yeah, it was a way. And I'm suspicious. My thinking is that it had something to do with the eye. But I don't know that for sure.
But the cool thing is that because, when, again, in the old days of serialized Marvel and DC comics, when the book was being canceled, they would just pass it off to their junior writer and artist team.
Yeah.
And they would just say, here, finish it off.
Yeah.
And
do what you need. Just end it.
Just what?
Just end it.
Yeah, and it would just end. And the cool thing about stopping the Protectors is, it's still RA. It's still RA's book. Right. And he got to wrap it up, and he got to plant a little nugget, and he got to come up with how to figure out the ending. And so it wasn't, even though it's a company-owned project, it wasn't passed, the dictate wasn't passed down to him. It's basically, we're sorry, we're going to have to cancel the book.
Yeah.
But you get to figure out how to wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't a cliffhanger with a never.
Yeah.
You just didn't end it with a cliffhanger, thinking that there was going to be another issue, and
it ends with a giant egg and a crack in it, and it says "the end" with a question mark.
Well, of course, you guys probably know, Flash Gordon is one of my favorite movies, mostly because of the Queen soundtrack. But at the end of that movie, right, they look at Ming's ring, right? The camera pans in on Ming's ring, and it says "the end?" ?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's
I was always disappointed we never got another one.
That's like the end of every, up until recently, the end of every 007 movie. Remember? They had like how, they're
James
always
Bond
kind
will
of
return.
alluded to the next movie coming out.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't working on it yet.
My favorite is the end of Buckaroo Banzai, where they're rolling the credits and they have the whole team walking towards the camera, and it says, Buckaroo Banzai will return, and they never returned. But they ended the movie. They just used the opportunity to tease a sequel.
Yeah, that was nice. Tom, do you want to chime in on endings?
Well, most of the endings that I got were stuff was sort of canceled after the fact. So I didn't get the RA ending.
Yeah.
To some of the stuff that I was involved in. So it's a thing that I hate, where the rug just gets pulled out from under you. I understand it. I know why it has to be done, but I
don't take it personal. It's just
it's business. But I like, and that's why I like sort of the because if you work for corporate owned comics, that's just the thing that happens. Whereas if you work for your own comics, it's like, well, I got enough juice to hand out these 4 issues. I'm going to do that, and then you can work backwards and wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, I think since I've done mostly corporate comics, I'm always getting the rug pulled out from under me.
Yeah.
They call you hey Tom, there's no next issue, dude.
Right. It's
like,
yeah. Well, and what's even worse is like, hey Tom, you know that script that's due Friday and today's Wednesday? Yeah, no, don't even send it. Yeah,
don't worry about it.
We don't want it. We don't need it.
That rough draft that we were working on last week? I don't care anymore.
Yeah. But that was most of the comics that Malibu did before then were all miniseries.
Yes.
So it was all a 4-issue miniseries or 2 issues or a 1-shot or whatever. So it had a definitive ending from the beginning.
Well, so let's kind of talk about that, because that's kind of what our model is. Our model is
just baked in story arcs. We already know.
Yeah.
We plan on. We want it to keep going on and on. But
absolutely.
We have a baked story. This is the story. This is the story.
Well, and the idea, right? So, I forgot to give my con report. So, I did a show today, and I did a different show last night with Jose Fuentes, and Haley joined us today. And so Jose and I, we got the opportunity to talk some. And for those who don't know, Jose is inking the next Cat and Mouse miniseries, right? So one of the ideas is, all right, so I wrote this first Cat and Mouse miniseries. I'm like, okay, it's going to end. We're going to resolve it with the idea that there may not be any more, right? This could be the end of it.
Yeah.
But if I get to do more, I want to leave that door open. I want to leave that nugget, that seed planted with the reader that, oh, cool, the door's left open. And so that's what I tried to do. And of course, the one that that Jose is working on, same thing, right? It is a complete story from, it's 3 issues, but from 1 to 3, boom, the story ends. But of course, theoretically, I kind of look at it in my head as, okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. The one that Jose is working on is 5, 6, 7, right? That's issues 5, 6, and 7.
Right.
So it's a complete story, but it's just, extending the series.
Yeah, I think that's because I read, I don't know, Mike, can I talk about the PDF that you sent me?
Sure.
Okay, because Mike sent me PDFs of issue 1 and 2 of the new thing that he's coming out with for Man in the Mask.
Man in the Mask, cool.
And you can tell it's a continued story. There's a villain, but they're also solving a fairly significant problem in each of the issues. And if you read it one at a time, that's great. But if you read them all together in a book, well, that's great too, because there's an overall story of the villain and the hero who are, definitely going to have at it fairly soon. But there's also a bunch of stuff in each individual issue that moves everything else forward, that helps define the setting where the town is and helps define all the other characters. And so I think that's a really good way to do a 4-issue series.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when comics come out, I read the comics one at a time, like everybody else does, but then they go in a box.
Yeah.
And then I wait for the graphic novel, and then I get the graphic novel, and that graphic novel goes on the bookcase, which is sort of right behind me.
Right.
And so then when I want to read them again, I don't go in the box.
Mm-mm.
I want to go to the bookshelf.
Yeah. And I think that, that obviously that's our model, but I think that's a model that a lot of folks have, is that, hey, we're gonna produce them in smaller chunks because they're easier to do, right? They're easier to get the smaller chunks out. We can get them to you, and hopefully maintain we talked about interest earlier, and hopefully maintain your interest in those, as it takes us a while to finish something that's a little bit longer. Like, it would take us a while if we sat down to do a 100-page, graphic novel. That would take us a while to do because it's a lot of pages.
You'll see that happen.
Yeah. So it's the mini to trade is what I think is a good model for us, particularly for us. It's something we can do.
I like the process of the comic book, because you can explore stuff and fix things as you go.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm writing issue 1, I give it to the artist, and the artist comes up with some stuff that I like and that he likes or she likes, and we all want to do this. It's like, well, that could change what I want to do in issue number 2. So I don't want to write a 100-page story and give it to an artist or whatever. I want to do it in increments so that we can sort of massage it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you can, and this is one of the reasons, I don't like the full script method is because it's that collaborative, right? That to me, right. And I'm not dissing on the full script. It's just that I like the plot first method because I get to say, here's what I want to happen, and then the penciler, which is in this case is Pete, right? Then he gets to say, well, here's the way I envision that happening, and
right.
And as he has said before, sometimes he's like, yeah, I don't want to draw that. I'm going to skip that part and go to here, right?
I don't want to have a time travel story back with 1930s cars and hats.
Right. Yeah. Tommy, you might remember this. We had in the first volume of Cat and Mouse. So this is a tidbit. Maybe I don't know if I've ever talked about this. In the first volume of Cat and Mouse, because I wrote those stories in Marvel method as well, the plot first. So there was a scene in which Demon was visiting Mouse, and something happened, and he didn't want to be seen, right? Because Demon didn't want to be seen at the time during the daylight hours. Someone came over, and he hid, right? So in the plot that I wrote, I just said, hey, he ducks into a room and he hides. I don't remember specifying the room, although I had to go back and look. Yeah, but he ducks into a room.
Draw? I don't remember.
He put him in a dryer.
Oh, he did. I think I remember.
Yeah, you remember that. So he put him in a dryer so that when the visiting character left, right, Mouse goes back to get him, and she pulls him out of the dryer, and he's all fluffy.
Yeah,
that's hysterical.
That's great.
See? Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was like
that wouldn't have been in your full script.
No, it would not have been in my full script. And this is the thing. It's like all I needed him to do was hide. Right? It's like, look, he just needs to hide, right? But
he could just be in another room, but he just
but because artists think more visually, I believe, than writers do. I got this scene where he comes out and he's all fluffy. It's a great scene.
And Pete's like, yeah, I'm gonna use that.
How we do that?
Fluffy Demon.
A big old fluffy demon now.
It was huge.
Yeah. Agent has another question. Oh, I'm not sure. He says, instead of endings, what about beginnings? What made you guys decide to do the Protectors?
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
They were public domain. They were free.
Great motivation.
Get the ball rolling. It's already.
Here's the thing: if someone says, "Oh, I've got 12 superheroes that have already been created that already have backstories and they're free to use," yeah, you might consider that.
Well, and part of the challenge, right? So I think all of us here, if someone disagree, if speak up if you disagree. But part of the challenge here is that we're working on characters for the most part no one knows, right? No one's ever heard of,
right?
But if you work on a public domain character, say Miss Fury, right? Then there's a chance that people are going to say, "Hey, I know who Miss Fury is. I know about Miss Fury," and so
see what she's doing.
You have that automatic
invested in her a little
connection. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's also a paper trail of history where she did exist in the 40s.
Yeah.
So she's basically a character 84 who's 84 years old, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I draw her.
She has good health care, though.
She looking good.
Looking good for
It is surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, you should see the way that walker moves across the rooftops.
She bounces over that rooftop.
But so to go with I'll answer Agent Cub's thing a little more seriously. So what we did is we had a list of characters, and then we hired. There's a historian and writer named Ron Goulart, and we hired Ron Goulart to do biographies of the backstories of each of the main characters from that line of comics. And he did these one-page bios of all these characters. And then we gave those to, I forgot when you started rolling, but I know we gave those to R.A. Jones and then later to Martin Powell. And we just said, here's what they are in the 1940s.
Yeah.
And this is what you have. This is this is sort of the Play-Doh that you have to work with. So what do you want to do with them, and what can you do with them to make it sort of cohesive and cut out all the weird 1940s stuff that just doesn't make any sense anymore?
Yeah,
because I think the Gravestone character was originally called Phantom of the Fair, which is like the world's stupidest name, and so it's a trick to just sort of. But the look was good, so you wanted to keep sort of the look, and you just come up with Gravestone instead of Phantom of the Fair.
Agent, he beat you to it. He
asked.
There we go. It was Gravestone based on a public domain character. There you go.
Yes, it
was. I like working on Gravestone. That was fun.
Yeah. So I came on because I talked to RA in Dallas at a show before the first issue was published.
Okay.
And so I came on before the first issue was published, but pretty quick. Well, it couldn't have been that quick. Yeah, it was. So I don't remember exactly when, but it was before the first issue was published because I worked on the Arrow.
Yes. Which is the highest selling newsstand comic Malibu Comics ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't know that.
30% sell through, which is unheard of.
Wow. Gee, I need to add that to my resume, don't I? Yeah, I didn't know that.
I remember that because we ran around the office for weeks just going, look at this. And that's what triggered the next one shot. That's how Airman got a one shot.
Okay. It wasn't the highest selling thing, was it?
No, because the thing that you wanted, again, we're deep into the weeds now and I can't help myself. But the thing that we didn't understand about the newsstand is it's not a good predictor.
Yeah.
Whatever confluence of events happened that made the Arrow sell 30% cannot be duplicated by Malibu Comics. It's some weird thing that the newsstand did, probably by accident and probably because of other stuff that was happening that week in the distribution cycle, and we had no control over it, so we couldn't duplicate it again.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those flukes.
Do you remember my first assignment at Malibu, Tom?
I do not. Was it to make photocopies for me?
No.
Sweeping?
No.
That's usually what everybody did.
No. So when I showed up, of course I got, all the tour and everything. Chris hands me Airman. He goes, fix this.
I'm sure we did that with a couple people that we were hiring where they would say, there's a problem that needs to be fixed. What's happening? It's like, well, Roland's going to start. We did that with Alan Payne too, and Alan started. It's like, here's a problem in the marketing department that we need to take care of. It's like, well, Alan's going to be here in 2 weeks. let's give it to him.
I remember looking through it and going, "Whoa, Chris, wait, huh? Wait." And he goes, "I don't want to hear it right now. I want you to fix it.
Give me some ideas. Give me."
Oh man, yeah, I remember that very clearly. Agent says Gravestone was a cool character. I agree. Yeah, and Agent, not Pete, but Tommy over there inked a bunch of. I think you inked it all, didn't you, Tommy?
I don't remember. I inked a bunch of them.
Yeah, I know you inked a bunch. Because I know you and.
I don't think I inked the first couple of issues, but I inked quite a few of them.
Okay. Because I know you inked Roy on a bunch of that stuff.
Roy Bourdain. Yeah. And forget who the first guy was before. No. Maybe it was Roy. I don't remember.
Roy was the first guy. Yeah.
Maybe it was. I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. I think I know the answer to this one, but I'll let Tom take it. Was the name Protectors in public domain or something you guys came up with?
Well, I'm going to say two things. One, it's something that we came up with, but we didn't come up with it. I think R.A. Jones came up with it.
Yeah.
It's his name. Because we went back to him and we said, if you can think of the sort of thing where we bounced around like 20 names that nobody liked them. And so we just sent all the material to RA and said, if you come up with a name.
So RA was the one that you said, here, fix this?
Yes, RA. So we did it again.
All right,
yes,
sounds good.
So, all right, listen, can you fix this for us?
There's I got another good Tom story. While we're telling Tom stories, right? So we pitched Demon's Tales, right?
Yes.
And Tom said, I don't like the title, Roland. What else you got? And so literally, I can't remember if Steven was part of it or not, but I know that Mitch just took a notepad and just started writing just different names. And Steven, of course, I know he contributed somewhat, but I don't remember if he was there. And I think I just photocopied that page and I sent Tom like 100 names. and
then Tom goes, man, I think I like Demon Tales.
Yeah, he didn't like any of them.
No. You're no R.A. Jones when it comes to naming stuff, Roland.
Oh.
I think my Tommy will know this. My leading replacement title. Anybody want to guess what it might have been?
No.
It did not have demon in the title at all.
Oh, that demon.
No, it was Mississippi Mud Puppy.
No.
I remember you told me that. I am so glad that you said no, Tom.
That's like a pre. You know what? I'm gonna send. I should send that issue to R.A. Jones and say, all right, listen, can you come up with a title for Roland stuff?
Yeah.
Mississippi Mud Puppy is like a preschool show.
I remember Tom, but we ended up going with this because it was the best thing going. But Tom didn't like it, and
you know what? I still kind of don't.
Because everything else was worse. Is that why we went with that?
Yeah, I'd like to know what got chopped.
Sometimes that's how it works out, right?
Yeah. I might still have a copy of that. I'd have to look. I'm not really sure.
You should definitely dig that
I
up.
really want you to find that for my own.
Especially if Mississippi Mud Puppy is on it. That's
terrible.
That is.
That's a stinkeroonie.
Yeah.
Which was one of the other names. So let's call the book Stinkeroonie.
Stinkeroonie. That's another kids show from the 1980s.
Yep.
Oh no. Speaking of kid shows, Pete, I actually Googled Clangers or something. Was it Clangers?
Clangers, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's
that a British show?
That is.
That was Clangers. Clangers was what year was that? What decade was that? 70s,
I don't know that.
60s, 70s?
17. It wasn't 17.
70s.
70.
Oh, 70s. I thought you said 1760s.
Yeah, no. Clangers was. I've never really watched the Clangers, but I know it's very weird.
Oh my gosh, I watched like half of the first episode. I mean, yeah, that's enough for me.
Yeah. It was aimed at kids.
It's funny, Agent. So funny story about this. If you're not going to use Mississippi Mud Puppy, can I use it? So
no, because Roland's got it copyrighted.
No, he's got it.
So I don't have any plans to put it on a title, but I actually do have a character that just hasn't made it to the pages yet, called the Mississippi Mud Puppy.
Oh. So if you beat
I'm not doing
Roland,
that.
Come on.
then you can
Well,
sue Roland.
don't submit that title to me.
Yeah, no, it won't. Okay, guys. My clock tells me that we've run past our hour. Any final thoughts on? Go ahead, Tommy.
Well, not final thoughts on this subject, but I want to tell everybody y'all should go watch what is this on Apple TV? I always talk about new shows. Go watch Dark Matter. It's kind of a multiverse kind of thing, and I know you're like multiverse. I don't want. It's really good.
It did look good.
It is. It's pretty fun. You should go watch it. Roland's like, I'm not watching it.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I told you. I do watch. We used to watch something.
It's good. It's pretty cool, and it is multiverse right up the wazoo. But it is.
I'll tell you something I watched that I really liked. You guys might be surprised by this. I watched the live action One Piece.
Now what'd you think?
It was great. I loved it. It was funny.
I think it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Got
is
Luffy
it the top or the bottom? The One Piece, or is it the top and bottom?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. What's it on?
Netflix.
Is it?
I don't recall.
It's either Netflix or Amazon. Netflix.
Yeah. Has anyone seen Sugar?
It has characters and storytelling trope. Oh, sorry, Roberta.
I want to watch that one too, Roberta. I hadn't got around to it yet.
Which show?
Sugar.
Sugar.
I'm 3 episodes
Colin
in.
Farrell. It's really interesting sci-fi drama.
Yeah.
Crazy plot twist.
I'm up to the point where there's going to be a huge weird twist.
They double down on the noir feature, but I mean it's really fun.
It looks cool.
I'm watching the last season of The Expanse.
The Expanse. I've heard
I
good things
really
about that
liked
one
The
too.
Expanse. That was just such a neat all around. I don't know if it was well written or not, but it was such a neat show. I really like The Expanse.
It's great characters and great actors, and
it sure was. And the physics that they tried to put in it to make it all work and stuff. It was just. I love when they were. You got annoyed at first when they're walking around because it's the mag boots clank, clank, clank. And you're like, I wish they would stop doing that. And then you finally go, well, no, that's what it would be like if they're walking around.
Right.
So, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I've put off the last season because it's one of those shows where I don't want it to end yet.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it. And so, and I sort of do that with book series as well. I won't read the last book in a series because the author is dead or whatever, and I know it's the last one I'm ever going to read, so I put it off.
Guys, before we call it a night, I want to say thank you to all of our viewers and listeners. I've kind of kept this to myself, but this has been we've had the highest numbers tonight that we've ever had. So this is our in terms of live viewer. You know, we always get a lot of folks that they're watching something else and then they catch us on the replays. But
it's because of Pete. Pete, now you got to wake up.
You know,
I think it's Pete, and I think it's because Mike and I came back.
That's right.
We weren't here last
Absolutely.
week,
so Pete, you're going to join us next week?
He's like, I'm sleeping next week.
Yeah, I'm always sleeping.
He's like, I got to think about that one a little bit. Look, I even put Lord Clinton there for you. Look,
Yeah,
Lord
I am a lord. You should.
I'm gonna edit it, Lord. There we go. I like that. So Agent said, I didn't watch the last season of Castle because I knew it was ending.
Also, the last season of Castle was terrible, so he's not missing.
I was going to say you didn't miss anything.
It totally invalidates the rest of the show.
Mm.
What?
Horrible.
A show I just watched had a really good ending. It's called A Man in Full. Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Bridges.
Really
you
good
like it?
ending. Really good ending. Not what didn't see it coming.
What was the name of it?
A Man in Full.
A Man in Full.
Based on a Thomas Wolfe novel.
Oh, okay.
He plays a Trump-esque magnate who The banks come for his money. Basically, he owes them a lot of money. They come for him. It's a really good ending.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
go, if you check it out. Check it out. We won't spoil it for you. But
Okay, yeah, don't.
What?
It's 6
Where is
episodes,
it
I
on?
think. 6, 7 episodes.
What's it on? You remember?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix or Amazon, one of those two.
Yeah. They all kind of run together after a while, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I
I
have a
think
hard
I remember
time keeping
Star
it
Trek.
straight because I jump around so much.
Unless somebody tells me where they are, I just have to go to IMDb and not let IMDb tell me because I just forget.
Tell you how to go stream it.
We're getting ready to we're getting ready to try Paramount, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I like
we just watched the
good stuff
first season
there.
of Halo.
lot of stuff on it.
Halo is great. Yellowstone is great.
We started watching the one with the guy from Arrow. He played
Heels.
Heels, the wrestling thing.
no, he plays a finder. He goes and finds missing people.
That's not him.
That's not the same. That's not who you're talking about. But he was on Smallville and
Yeah,
all
is
that
it-
kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, he was Green Arrow in
That's a
Smallville.
great.
yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's good. We watch it. Renee
Yeah,
loves it.
I forget the name of it, but we've enjoyed it.
Also, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
is on
we watched
I think
Paramount.
Renee
episode.
loves that guy. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of cut.
He's a good looking fella. I'll tell you.
Hey,
I mean, that's what Renee said. I didn't say that.
Yeah. Agent says, do you all watch Outer Range?
Oh no, I
No.
meant to watch
Not
that.
yet,
That
I
looks
want
really
That's
good.
on my list too. I want to see
Yeah.
that.
Well, all right then. So this week we got some exciting shows on Tuesday. The crew from that Silverline show on Tuesday are going to talk with comic creator and publisher Dan Scene of Argo Comics and Thunder Zone Comics. So that's
Cool.
Tuesday.
Cool.
Yep. Pretty excited about that. Dan has actually had made some videos about Silverline before. Said some nice things about us.
Oh, nice.
On Wednesday, I don't have very much, but this is their topic is perished parents. Why is the dead parent trope so popular in comics? Oh, that sounds like a good one.
Because Disney invented that.
My daddy died. I'm going to be a superhero.
Disney invented it.
That's a Disney trope.
Next week we will be back
starting with
with
Bambi.
a guest, which I don't have any details for, which I'm surprised my wife hadn't yelled at me about. Maybe Mike, you can help fill us in. And I'm not really sure how to say his last name, but we're gonna have guest Dan Scotty.
Dan Scotty, Flash Gordon fame right now.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So
Comics outside the book.
that's right. So we'll be here with him next week. So you guys plan to tune in, bring your questions. We love questions. We love to answer the questions. We love to you guys to ask us questions so that we can answer them, especially if we can ask questions that can stump Tom. That's really hard to do, right? That's really hard to do.
And you've got the last Kickstarter books that you should be shipping out.
White Devil books should go out this week.
And
so
then
probably won't go out tomorrow because I'm beat.
Did the Diamond books go out last week, or did you ever get your printer fixed?
I got my printer fixed.
Okay.
Got my printer fixed. Here's the
Roland wrote me the other day. I asked him if the books went out, and he goes, "My printer is broken. Can you send me your the Kablam printer tech to come work on it?" And I said, "He doesn't work on inkjet machines. I don't know what he's not coming on."
Fixing a printer though is like taking a gerbil to the vet. There's no point to it.
Yeah,
I know.
Throw it out and get a new one. You got $50.
But I'll tease this actually. It's printing again. So
there you go.
So yeah.
Put some fresh ink in the machine.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. I wish that was just it. So all right. So we'll see you guys next time. And remember to
Make
mine
And thank you guys for the Kickstarter. Woo!
Yes,
I
thank
mean
you.
the crowdfunder, Kickstarter. Crowdfunder, yeah.
Hey, I'm G-Rod. Make mine Silverline. You heard me.